This is Alayna at AlaynaSpirit.com, Alayna Spirit on the YouTubes, and AlaynaSpirit at live.com if you want to contact me personally. I'm starting to do a few videos on people's questions, answering them, and I thought, maybe everybody would like to hear the answer. So I'm starting that, and I really want to thank everybody for such a great positive response. I've spent my whole life learning all of this, and it's nice to get some positive feedback, so thank you. Thank you. So today I'm going to start on a story that happened long, long ago and far, far away. It's a story that almost everybody on the planet knows. We're going to really look at it from a different point of view. And this story is about Moses and the Israelites leaving Egypt, taking a 40-day walk, which ended up 40 years. And I saw one comedian who says, "Can I take the map for the next decade?" So this is a story about a group of people that prayed and prayed and prayed to be delivered. And they actually were delivered, and yet we're going to discuss all the mistakes that were made, because we've been learning about this individually and we've been learning about it as communities, and now we're going to go through this lesson again in 2012. So remember, all of mine are kind of at the fall and at the beginning, or at the ending, which is the awakening in this 26,000 year period. So we're going to discuss this story and how it relates to us today, and see how many lessons that we've learned. I hope a lot, because we're going to be doing this as individuals, but also as a large community of people. And I think that we're going to do great. So we're going to start with this concept that I think we're going to do great. Everything is as it's supposed to be. We're in this time of ethics, going in to the time of co-creation. Okay, we cannot start co-creating if we haven't learned these ethical lessons and got the playing board cleared. So right now, you might have noticed there's a little bit of chaos. There certainly is in my world. And I'm on my 3rd degree of my Peruvian lessons, and I'm at the hummingbird. So we'll start right there, the hummingbird stage. The hummingbird being in total balance and harmony, learning how to move backwards, forwards, up, down, and they learn, I didn't even know this, that they can fly on top of geese and ducks, and they just get on top of them, and they let the journey kind of go for them. So they don't work so hard to survive. They're very, very interesting species of bird, which I just am learning about because, oh, and I'm looking, I've got a hummingbird right up there above the window. I didn't even realize that. So it's a really unique stage to learn from. So holding your balance when the whole world is going chaos around you. I'm not doing too well. I have a couple of Achilles heels left. So we're going to look at it from this point of view. Staying balanced and in harmony, realizing that we are in the right and perfect place right now. These ethical lessons, especially when it comes to government, banking institutions, petrochemical, pharmaceutical industries, all of these need to go through tremendous transformation. They're not real ethical. Then we have individuals that are not really ethical, and some of this not being ethical and not walking in integrity and in honor, I'm finding out is like, are we walking in integrity with ourselves when we're dealing with our issues? Are we being really honest to ourselves, not necessarily lying to other people, but lying to ourselves? So being ethical even to ourselves. So that's a really broad span that we are learning everything in a really short amount of time. And right now, starting at November 9th, which just happened a couple days ago, of 2009, we are supposed to have everything down to the foundation, which I think we're just in the process. I don't think we've made it all the way. So we don't want to be building castles on rubbish. We want to build our castles on a stone foundation. So this is using the story of Moses and the Israelites being ethical, knowing that everything is right just the way it is, walking in faith and the light and staying connected to divine intelligence. There's a lot of concepts here. Staying directly connected to divine intelligence and learning to move in the wind and going back, forth, up, down, all at the same time. That's something that you don't read in a book. That's something you become. So these lessons are really about being ethical. So if you are completely attached to divine intelligence, you're probably not freaking out. Which obviously I have a few hairs that are not connected. So we're going to start with everybody moaning, groaning, complaining, I'm in slavery. And boy, hasn't that been a word that's been going around lately, that the establishment is trying to make us all slaves. Dumbify the workforce, make us slaves to pharmaceuticals, all kinds of concepts of slavery. And we want to be free. And when we have that freedom, what will we do? We need that ethicalness. We need, because we're going into co-creation, to be connected to divine intelligence. And we need to be able to walk in balance. So here we are, the Israelites, screaming, crying, complaining, and Moses steps in and he tries to set his people free. There's a lot of fighting there. There's probably a lot of fighting amongst the Israelites. There's fighting against the Egyptians. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of anger. So they're finally set free. They finally break free. And now starts the journey. So on this journey, they're told that God will provide everything. Wait for the manna from heaven. Only take what you need today. There's about 1 million people on this trip. That's a lot of people to feed. A lot of people to move. Everything is provided for you. Jesus said, be like the birds in the trees. Know that everything is there. And these people are so happy to be delivered, and they're no longer going to be in slavery. I want to discuss this word slavery. Who enslaves who? Don't we really allow ourselves to be enslaved? We have drugs and alcohol that enslave us. We have food that enslaves us, gambling that enslaves us, our fears enslave us. We have a lot of slavers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be another group of people. It can just be us, doing it to us. So here they are, walking off on this 40-day journey. That's all it takes to walk from Egypt to the New World, Israel. And at first, they're so happy because they've been delivered. And then after a while, they're going, well, is God going to be taking care of us all the time? I mean, I should take some more manna. I don't want to get hungry, and I really didn't like Joe that much anyway. So they start fighting amongst each other. They're not listening to the messages. They're losing their contact from divine intelligence. They're not walking in peace and harmony. Every time they start separating themselves and from God, you're adding another year onto this journey. And there were a lot of people that said, I think I'd rather go back to Egypt than go through this. They'd rather go back to that slavery. They did not believe, they did not have the faith